Record to clouds. Okay, so let's get started. So this week, like I told you guys in the beginning, and probably you saw my stories, I was kind of feeling this week. So by default, because I wasn't feeling that good, like it was the week before my period and then my period, and then I was feeling bloated, I was feeling fluffy. The weather wasn't good, so I wasn't going for as many walks as I would like. Um, and also, I went over my macros last week. So a bunch of things rolled into me not feeling my best, right? And it came to a point that I'm like, oh, this week is just going to be a waste because I'm not feeling any good and I'm not feeling productive. I'm not going to show up to my check-in. So as you guys know, or for those of you who don't know, I'll just recap a little bit. So for the past year, during quarantine, during the lockdowns, I barely trained. Okay. We moved from Winnipeg to Toronto right in the middle of the pandemic, like in the first week of quarantine. We moved into a very tiny apartment. I did not have any equipment for to work out, and I really love the gym setup. I love gym. So I was doing my best to do some workouts here and there to keep my, to keep some of my strength and muscle, but it wasn't the same. So I can confidently say that throughout the last year, I wasn't properly training. I was doing a workout here and there, doing my steps, still paying attention to what I was eating, but not tracking. And I really took that year to help other people, to start this coaching business, to start helping people. I did 2 launches in Portuguese. So I did the Fit at Home program in Portuguese in the first half of last year. And then I made the decision to start one-on-one coaching. And so a lot of things going on at the time. I had a lot on my plate, and my physique, the way I looked, took the back seat. It wasn't as important anymore. I was doing just the bare minimum to keep myself going. And I was okay with that because I didn't gain any fat. I didn't, like, of course I lost muscle and I lost strength, but I was okay with that because I understood that was what it took to, to do the things that I needed to do and to take care of others. But at the same time, I started feeling, when I moved to this house, and I started having a little bit extra space. And I also joined a mastermind for fitness business. And they teach us that you cannot pour from an empty cup. How are you going to help others if you're not filling your own cup, right? If you're not setting boundaries for yourself, if you're not taking care of yourself first, you got to tackle that first before you give to others. And here's a lesson for you guys too, on setting boundaries, and really start planning your day with the things that you really like. Or the things that you really want to make sure that you want to do, not to live like the workouts to the end of the day, like, okay, I'll get it done when I can get it done, or I'll eat whenever I can eat. Like, plan accordingly. If this is important to you, fill your cup first so you can give it to others. And I wasn't doing that for majority of last year. I was working, 14, 16-hour days, most days. I wasn't feeling my best, and when I'm not feeling my best, I cannot give my best, right? So I committed 3-4 weeks ago. I committed on my stories to publicly show my week-to-week progress. I committed to figure out a way to do my workouts here. Now I don't have the excuse of not having space, because now I have space. And I have a set of dumbbells and resistance bands and whatever. I can do something. So I started doing that. I committed to show my physique transformation publicly every single week on my stories. And that would be my weekly check-in with publicly, right? Instead of having a coach to look on my check-ins, I was doing that. I'm doing that on my stories. So long story short, yesterday I wasn't feeling like posting any progress because I felt like I did not make any progress. I felt like, okay, what is it for? I know that last week I went above my macros. I know that I haven't been training really well because of my low back. I know that I didn't do all my steps. I know that I'm feeling bloated. I'm feeling fluffy. Why the hell I'm gonna show up here and in my underwear and show my physique to everyone? And then I'm like, this is exactly what probably majority of you guys go through every check-in. And this is a lesson. This is something that we can learn from, because you're not going to feel like showing up when you felt like you have not done any progress, but you got to show up anyways. Because the point of checking in is not just to assess your progress and to make your coach proud. The point is, this is a reminder that you're on a journey. This is just a pit stop for you to check your wheels, for you to check the oil, for you to check where you're going. And it reinforces to your brain that you've made a commitment, that even though it might, the pictures that you're looking at are not reflective of the person that you want to be, that's a reminder that you're working towards that version, towards that person. So, and that's what I did. I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like it, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to show up because I understand the importance of checking in. I understand the importance of being consistent with showing up to do what it needs to be done, regardless of how I feel about it. Right. And it kind of made me feel a little bit better after, because I knew that the message that was sent to my brain was that, okay, she's in control. She's in control, regardless of what I tell her. Because we hear voices in our brain all the time, right? We have different voices all the time telling us different things and different stories. And then we choose to believe. It's a choice. It's always a choice to believe in one voice or in the other voice, or you're always choosing which voice you choose to listen to. And I chose to listen to the voice of, hey, do what needs to be done. So the other voice just shut up, right? And I did that, took a shower, washed my hair, like freshened up, you know. I don't know why. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but every time I wash my hair, I feel like I'm brand new. So that made me feel a little bit better. My sleep was out of whack last week, so I made sure I took L-theanine last night, L-tyrosine as well, which is also good to calm down your nervous system a little bit. Took easy on the caffeine yesterday so I could have a great night's sleep, and I did. Slept very well this morning, woke up feeling a little bit better. Not 100% yet, but better, right? And this is what you guys should be aiming to do anytime you feel like you are in kind of a meh mood. Don't let that turn into a bad day or a bad week or a bad month. Don't just grab one situation or one thing that happened to you or one thing that didn't go as planned. Don't make that look bigger than it is, right? Don't let that affect how you continue on your journey. Just move forward, just continue on, right? So I think the best way to get yourself out of a rut is, first of all, acknowledge that that is a, you know, that doesn't reflect who you are. It's just one situation, and don't even generalize saying, oh, this is just a bad day. I like, if you're saying this is a bad day, if you're thinking that, at least you got out of bed. At least you're breathing, you're alive. So how is it a bad day? It's not a bad day. Something happened for, I don't know, 10 seconds, half an hour maybe. Some specific situation happened, and that was it. And you gave it a meaning that the whole day is ruined because of that. You're giving it too much power. You're giving away too much power to just one scenario, one little thing. Don't let that affect you. Don't let that turn into, oh my God, this is just a bad day. No, it's not a bad day. One thing didn't go as planned, and you gave the meaning that that's bad, and you gave the meaning to that situation, and you let that affect your mood. You let that affect how you behave and how you proceed with your day, right? Take your time, breathe. It's okay to feel pissed off. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel the feelings, right? What is not okay is to stay stuck on that feeling. Feel the feelings, acknowledge them, and move on. A good mantra or or something that you can tell to yourself when those things happen is, thank you, but I'm willing to see things differently now. I'm willing to see things differently. I'm open to see things differently. I know it sounds woo-woo and everything, but guys, our behavior, the way we behave and everything we do is based off on the meaning that we give to things. Nothing has a meaning except for the meaning that we give to that thing, to that situation, that person, that this bottle of water. It doesn't have any meaning. For some people, something might have happened that they gave a bad meaning to drinking water. I'm just giving a random example. So choose to see things differently. Choose to acknowledge that, okay, I choose to truly deep dive on why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Write it out, like literally write it out in your journal. Have a journal. Write about your feelings, write about your goals, write things out, and go do something. The best thing that you can do to get out of the rut, after you acknowledge it, after you're willing to see things differently, is doing something, taking action. Anxiety comes from inaction, overthinking and inaction. Once you start doing, you start proving to yourself that you're able of doing that thing. You're moving into some direction, right? And I think the best thing in terms of, okay, so what do I do from now? What do I do to get out of this? Like, do something for yourself and start looking for what's good. So many people say, oh, be grateful. You should be grateful. You should be grateful for. You should make a list of 5 things that you're grateful for every day. Why? Why is that so popular? And why so many people say that you should be grateful, that you should do a gratitude list? Because that forces your brain to look for what's good. It's so easy to focus on what's bad. So easy. I bet you guys can come up with 10 bad things that happened this week for me, like this. But to come up with things that are going well, it's gonna take a little bit more time, right? It's just the human nature. It's just the way it is. Like, if you watch the news, it's always bad news. It's never good news. It's always bad news, right? If you watch the news, if you open like whatever, it's easier to find bad things, things that are going wrong, than to find good things. So force yourself to find those good things. That will just bring you a little bit of peace and a little bit of certainty that all is well. All is well. Your day's not ruined. Your week is not ruined. You just gave too much meaning to something that didn't deserve it. You just gave too much power to a feeling that really doesn't have any power. It's just a feeling. And by taking action, like listing all the things that's going well in your life, you start focusing on what's going well and you start feeling good. So do something for yourself, like take care of yourself like you would take care of your parents or your kids or a dear friend. That starts with what you're talking to yourself. We're always talking to ourselves, always. That's what thinking means. But would you tell your best friend the things that you tell to yourself? When you look yourself in the mirror, would you, like, if the reflection in the mirror, if she's like your best friend, would you tell her the things that you tell to yourself? Think about it. We're always pointing out what's wrong with us. We're always trying to find what's wrong with us. We're always asking questions that are not really empowering. Oh, what's wrong with me? Oh, what's wrong with my body? Oh, this just sucks. My metabolism sucks. Oh, you know what? It's not worth it. How many times do you tell those things to yourself? Or you look yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh, I just hate this body. Just hate it. It's not good. And I'm not here to say, hey, just love yourself the way you are. Because you know you can do better. You know you can make things better. One thing doesn't exclude the other. Loving yourself doesn't necessarily mean that you are okay with staying the way you are, that you cannot make progress. And by the way, you make progress and you do things for yourself because you love yourself. You love yourself so much that you're going to do everything you can to make yourself feel better, even better. You deserve it. So, okay, I'm just rambling here. Are you guys still there? Are you all awake? So, I wanted to touch on some of the things that maybe you guys are doing without even realizing it. It might be sabotaging your own progress, your own journey. And one of these things I just talked about for like 15 minutes, which is giving into your feelings, like just giving too much power to situations that didn't go as planned, to bad days, to, you're giving it too much power, right? Imagine you had no options. Imagine there was no way out. This is what you got to do regardless of how you feel. And to be honest with you, most of you guys already do that in other areas of your life, because I'm pretty sure that you don't go to work every day super happy and motivated and loving every single part of your job. Probably not. Overall, you like it, but there are some aspects of it that you do it just because you have to do. And there are aspects of it that you love, other aspects of it that you just absolutely hate, but you got to get it done. And you do it because you have a powerful why, right? You want to keep your job, you want to pay your bills, you want to survive or thrive or travel, and right? So there's a powerful why you're doing what you're doing. It's just the way it is. So with health and fitness, if you bring that analogy to your fitness journey, that's exactly what's going to make you successful, right? My most successful clients are the ones that understand that. They know that even when they don't feel like it, they do work out. Even when they don't feel like it, they do measure, weigh every single food that they eat and log everything in MyFitnessPal. They know that they need to do that. Even when they don't feel like it, they eat their vegetables, they eat their fruits, they choose better quality foods most of the time because they understand how important it is. They understand that that's going to make them feel better, even if it means that they have to, just not follow what they're really wanting at the moment. So one of the things that majority of people do that sabotage their progress during this fitness transformation is just giving too much power on things that honestly doesn't have that much power, and putting the wrong expectations, having the expectations that you're going to love the process. You're absolutely you have to love every single thing about the process, otherwise it's wrong. Not necessarily, especially if you're a beginner, especially if you're just starting out. You might not feel like you're enjoying it at all, right? You might just do it because you want the results, but that's okay. It might come to a point that you will start enjoying it and liking it and doing it because
but you're not having that expectation, right? So people get frustrated when their expectations are too high. Another thing that people do that sabotage their progress is just not being 100% honest with themselves. So they get too comfortable after a while, and this is so normal. They get too comfortable. They start tracking their macros, they start doing everything right, and then they start seeing the first results, and then they start slacking. I'm not going to weigh that because I already know what it is. I'm just going to eyeball it. Then they start grabbing bites here, licks there, and not track it. And then they're adding up 200, 300, 400 calories a day without even noticing it. They're getting too comfortable with the workouts. They're just going through the motions. They're not looking for progress anymore. They're just going through the motions. And that's not really what's going to give you the results you want. What's going to give you the results you want is pushing through the discomfort and doing the extra mile. On your workouts, always willing to do more, always putting in the extra rep, especially for majority of you guys that are working out at home with limited equipment, limited weight. So you have to go the extra mile to do those extra reps to really add that stimulus to your muscles, right? And whenever you get too comfortable with tracking your macros, that's where your progress starts stalling, right? Another thing that you might be doing because you're too comfortable with the process is, instead of the 80-20, 90-10 kind of rule, which is 80% to 90% of the foods you eat in a day are from whole food sources, like nutritious foods. Instead of doing that, you're actually doing more of a 50-50. So 50% of your calories are going towards quote unquote junk foods, and 50% of your calories are going towards nutritious foods, or even less than that. You're eating more packaged and processed foods than you are eating whole foods, because you got too comfortable with the process. You got too comfortable with the idea of the flexibility and everything, and now you're sabotaging yourself. There's nothing wrong unless you stick to your macros and your calories and everything in terms from a fat loss perspective, but then from a health perspective and how you feel and how your digestion is going to be and how your sleep is going to be affected and how your body is going to be recovering from workouts and how you're going to be able to stick to the process in the long run, that will be affected by your food choices, right? Because if you're not getting in the nutrients that you need, then your body is not does not have all the supplies that it needs to do what needs to be done to function optimally, right? So the more you get used to the idea of eating, I'm going to use this term that I actually don't like, but the more you get used to the idea of eating as clean, quote unquote, as possible, the better for you. Because fat loss, we started out at usually at higher calories, right? Higher macros, and then we start decreasing it over time. So your body, because your body adapts, so we decrease calories over time so you can continue to lose fat. Majority of you guys, some of you are just doing body recomposition, but still, the idea is at some point during your journey, if you want to see exceptional results, you're going to have to deal with a lower calorie point, a lower macro week or weeks. And you're not going to be able to sustain lower calories eating just processed foods, because you're not going to feel full. You're going to feel hungrier. You're going to feel like snacking more. Your digestion is going to go out of whack. Your energy is going to go out of whack. Like, your body is not going to be functioning very well. And the chances of you just giving in to all the cravings and the chances of you to just eat a lot more than planned and binge are much, much higher, because you're not giving your body proper nutrients. So as much as we love the idea of fitting in that chocolate and fitting in that cookie and eating bagels and doing all that, be honest with yourself, make a checklist and see, like, look at your food diary and look at your food choices for majority of the week. If you're just grabbing like a piece of chocolate every day and the rest of the day are just like meat and eggs and veggies and rice and beans, you're fine, right? But now all of a sudden, if all you eat is cereals and, I don't know, I can't remember anything else, cookies, and you're reserving like 500 calories every day to eat all your junk food, that's not okay. That's not okay. Maybe you should reevaluate your goals, reevaluate the effort that you're willing to put in, and understand that that's going to be necessary in order for you to continue to make progress and in your body, in your health. And that will affect your mind as well. So to give you guys an example, Luis Felipe, he was just mentioning how he now, 3 months later, he feels he tastes foods much sweeter than they actually are, or than they used to be for him before, because he's just being so consistent with eating majority of his calories from whole food sources that his taste buds actually, pardon me, actually got used to less sugar, to less sweet, and less preservatives, and less all of that junk that makes us overeat. There's no problem. Again, I want to emphasize this. There's no problem to eat sugar, to eat sweets. There's no foods off limits in this plan, but I want you guys to keep in mind that still food quality matters, and there's no food off limits as long as you're only setting aside between 10 and 20% of your calories on a daily basis for those types of foods, for processed foods. Okay. Now, potato, rice, oatmeal, they're a source of carbs. They're not like, because I know that people who come from the low carb crowd, they have this fear of eating oatmeal and eating potato and eating rice and eating beans. I'm not talking about those foods. I'm talking about like highly processed foods. Okay, I'm talking about the cereal, I'm talking about the cookies, I'm talking about, I don't know, the prepackaged, I don't know, because I don't even buy them, but like those frozen stuff that you buy at Walmart, those things. I'm okay with you eating bread. I'm okay with you guys eating rice, beans, whatever, as long as it fits your macros. But I also want to see more veggies, more salads, more fruits, and things of that nature. And just like literally real food, like meat and eggs and things like that, majority of the time. Make sense? The last thing that I wanted to touch on real quick here is who is making the decisions for you today? What type of person? Why do I ask that? When you guys started this program with me, or when you guys decided that it was time to change your body and your lifestyle, there was probably a person that you envisioned becoming, right? When we change our habits, we change who we are. We change our identity. We become a different person. Who is this person that you're trying to become? Who is she or who is he? Is he or is she a year from now? Is she already like super fit, strong, lean, in control of her or his food, in control of her emotions? How does she or he react to the unexpected situations and the unplanned things that happens to him or her? And I proposed this exercise. I proposed to a couple of clients that I talked to, and it's an interesting exercise to envision your future self. Imagine in vivid details, who is that person? What does that person do? How does she think? How does she wake up in the morning, look herself in the mirror? What does she tell to herself? What does she tell to others? How does she go? How does she go with her day? What does she eat? At what time? How? How is she dressed? Well dressed or wearing pajamas all day? Who is this person that you're trying to envision? Then bring that person back to present and let her make the decisions, or let him make the decisions for you. Whenever you feel like you're not making progress, or you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, or you're just going back to the old habits, remember that future self, bring her back today and let her dictate what you're gonna do. How would she deal with this situation? How would he deal with this? What would she do? What would he do? Right? And write a letter. Write a letter from that person from a year from now, 2 years from now, or maybe 5 years from now. If you have that vision of yourself 5 years from now. Write a letter. What would he tell you now? Write it out. Write it out. Every once in a while, I have a look at my letter that I wrote, the 38-year-old Andrea. It's an interesting exercise. Again, I know it sounds woo-woo, but I'm a truly believer that change doesn't happen only on the surface. If you want to truly, truly, truly change your habits, change your life, change who you are, how you behave, how you act, what you do, how do you feel, you gotta change from within. It's gonna last longer. It's gonna feel a lot better. And you're gonna feel fucking proud of yourself for doing that. And it's just easier, because then all of a sudden, something that was once a struggle for you is, no, it's just who I am. It's just who I am. I'm the person who does this. Okay. The silliest example that I can give is drinking water for me, because I was once the person that barely drank any water, right? And I was wondering why the hell I was so constipated. But one day I made a decision to start drinking water and to make that part of my life. And I heard that I had to drink a certain amount. I made it happen, started small, started dividing by number of water bottles, blah, blah, blah. But it came a point that people were pointing out to me as the person who drank a lot of water. At that time, I was working in an office. That's like 13 years ago, but I was working in an office, and people in the office, they would point out to me, oh, that's Andrea, that she pees every 5 minutes and she drinks water like a camel every day. So I became that person. Instead of being bothered by them pointing out to me and making fun of me, which I was a little bit, but still, I decided to, you know what? Yeah, this is who I am. I'm that person who drinks water every single day. I'm that person who brings all my snacks and lunch and everything to work because I want to eat healthy. I'm this person. And those people still follow me on social media today, and they're like, oh, great to see. Oh, I always knew. Right. So, yeah, my suggestion for you this week is to do this exercise, to write a letter from your future self. A year from now, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop for a moment, like in the morning or at night, whenever you feel more calm, take like 5 deep breaths. Try to connect with your inner self, like be just in that moment, and something will come up. Let your mind speak, right? So yeah, how old is this person that you're trying to become? How many years from now? What would she or he tell you today? And then every once in a while, you go there and write and read that letter to remind yourself, who are you trying to become? And to remind yourself that that person in the future, she's fucking proud of you for sticking to your plan, for sticking to positive changes in your life, right? She understands that it's not easy, it's hard, but you can do it. Now, I think that was it for what I wanted to talk about. One last thing here, it's like actually a good reminder, is that set your expectations to the level of your actions. Meaning, plan ahead, make a plan to make it work, to do everything that you need to do, but always keep in the back of your mind that if something goes wrong, you have a plan B in terms of going around that adversity and continue on. Because there will be times, as much as you are motivated now, as much as you are super excited to see changes or whatever now, there might come a time that you're going to feel frustrated and you're going to feel like quitting and you're going to question yourself and you're going to feel, oh, is this even worth it? You're going to think that to yourself. I'm 100% sure, because it happens to everyone in every area of our lives, right? So what do? Prepare yourself mentally, just knowing that it will happen. Then you know how, oh no, okay, it's normal. Andrea told me that this would happen. So I must stick to the plan, stick to it, and continue on, because I'm gonna see the results I want. I'm here for the long run. I'm not here for quick fixes, right? But just knowing that at some point you hit a wall, at some point you feel like you're not making progress, just know that that's normal. Everybody goes through it. And use the support systems that I created to serve you, right? Use the Facebook group, use the group chat, use the calls, the get unstuck calls that you can book with me at any time. You don't need necessarily to book them only on your check-ins. You can go to the Facebook group, you can find the link there and book a call with me from there, like at any point in time, even before your check-in. You don't have to wait for your check-in. So whenever you feel stuck, whenever you feel that you need an extra help, an extra support, an extra hand, book a call with me, right? Post your questions in the Facebook group. The easiest, and as our group grows and as we impact more and more people, and it's freaking exciting, it's going to be easier and it's going to be faster for you and for me, for us to communicate and to have your questions answered if you utilize the Facebook group, the group chat, because your question might be other people's question, right? So my answer might serve you and it might serve some other person. Okay. So utilize that, utilize the get unstuck call with me at any time. The chances of your questions getting answered are going to be much, much higher than through individual messages. The last thing that I want is your message to get lost, and sometimes it happens, and I feel so bad about it because that's not how it's supposed to be, right? So I want to serve you guys to the highest level possible. So I'm telling you, utilize the services, utilize the systems that are available to you. And you can give me a suggestion at any point in time whenever you feel like, oh, I think that I would like this way better or that way better. Give me a suggestion. I might consider that. And yeah, I'm trying my best to answer all of your questions in a timely manner, to be there for you guys. You know that you can post your questions anytime. I'll just have a window of responses from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. EST. But again, whenever you feel like you need a quick response or a quick fix, just book a call with me, or post on the Facebook group, post on the chat group as well in Trainerize, because that's probably going to be the easiest way. Or even in the chat on Trainerize, it might even be faster to get the responses. What else? I think that's it. I just have a last personal announcement to make to you guys. Are you guys still there? How's it going? Any questions for me before I announce what I want to announce?
Not at all.
Hey, all good? Any questions? Okay, I guess not. Oh, another thing, utilize this calls, okay, to ask questions, to share stories, to share any struggles that you might be going through, because this is an opportunity to have it answered live. And I know some people are a little bit more shy, and I totally respect that. You can send me a text here via message, via chat, if that's the case. But utilize this as a source of getting your questions answered and making sure that you have everything you need to continue on your journey. And also, if you got any insights from this live or the previous lives, or any of these calls, if you've learned something, if this something just hit home for you, please share on the Facebook group. Please share on the Facebook group, share your insights, share what has helped you, and that might lead to others joining us more frequently here as well. The more people, the better. But I do appreciate you all here tonight, because I know, most of you guys are here every single week. So you guys are freaking dedicated to your journey, and you freaking want it. And I really, really admire that. And I love that. So yeah, if there's any insights or anything that you would like to share with someone in the group, with anyone in the group, feel free to do that. Feel free to bring that to the Facebook group, comment there, post a picture, post things there, so people can understand why we're doing this. And if you did not learn anything from this call, or if you feel like it's a waste of time or something like that, just let me know as well, and we'll adjust and adapt. So moving forward to the announcement that I wanted to make for you guys tonight is that as of today, I have decided that I will be competing again this year. So I just hired a coach. She's going to be helping me with my macros, with my training, with everything, peak week, posing, all of that stuff. And I wanted to share this with you guys. I'm so excited. At the same time, scared as hell, because it is scary. For those of you who don't know, I've already competed before in 2018. Funny story. In 2018, I competed for the first time. I did the provincial, I did in Manitoba, so I competed in Winnipeg. I did the provincial qualifiers, right? So you have the provincial championship and you have the qualifiers first. So only the qualified competitors will go to the next show. So I did the qualifiers. I won first place in my category. I'm in the bikini category. So I won first place in that category. And then a couple of months later, I should have stepped on the stage for the second time to actually get the championship, right? And they call Miss Manitoba. Turns out that I was switching jobs at that time, and prepping for our show is, oh man, it's hard. It's hard on your brain, on your body, on everything. So I decided to give up midway. So I was already getting ready for that second show, and I decided to give up because I felt like I couldn't do it. I couldn't focus on my new job, be good at it, and at the same time prepare my body and my mind to a second show. I rebounded pretty badly from the previous show. From the first show, I gained a little bit of weight. I lost control over my food. I lost control over the relationship I had with food. So I had, for a brief few months, I had a pretty bad relationship with food. I was binge eating pretty much every day. So it wasn't fun. So I felt all of that told me that, okay, you can't do it. Like, why are you going to step on stage if you're not going to be ready? And at that time, it felt the right decision. It felt like the right decision for me because, okay, it's just a show. I can always do that again. And I just don't feel like I'm going to be able to handle all those changes, all those things. So yeah, I gave up. And because I gave up, that second show is constantly in the back of my mind. So here's my tip for you guys. Do not give up midway, because you're going to regret it so much. And I did. I regretted it. Like, after probably around a year after my competition, and after a year, I was already better with my relationship with food. Finally, it took a few months. It took probably 6 months to get that in control again. But after around 1 year, I was already like in control of my food. I was comfortable in my new job that wasn't that new anymore. Things were going good. So I started feeling this regret, feeling this, oh my God, I should have done it. If I had just pushed a little bit harder, I would have been able to make it, right? And that was always in the back of my mind. That was always in the back of my mind. What would I do? What do I feel like? Like, what would everything feel and look like on a second prep, on a second show? So yeah, and then it's like, it has always been in the back of my mind. You guys probably have seen my TBT posts that I every once in a while will post on Facebook with my competition pictures. And I was debating if I should do this or that. And then last year, COVID hit, and then everything was uncertain. I didn't want to compete with not having access to any equipment, so I did not do it. And then this year, it's kind of fork in the road kind of year, because there are other things that I'm starting to plan, and they are the complete opposite of competition prep. So in order for me to get there, I need to get this competition out of the way. Like, I'm not going to be able to move forward unless I get that out of the way. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm feeling good mentally. I'm feeling good physically. Now I have more space. I can figure out a way to, make my mini home gym here. And I wanted to do this because I wanted to share my journey with you guys, right? Because it's one thing when you're going through the same things as you guys are going through, right? Having to stick to your macros, having to stick to a calorie deficit, having to stick to a program because you have a goal in mind. It's a completely different thing, different mindset than just doing what I was doing until this point, which was just maintaining. It's fun. It's fun maintaining. I want you guys all to be able to get to that point where you don't have to worry about food anymore. You don't have to worry about putting a ton of weight anymore. You know how to manage things so you can maintain. That is amazing. That should be your guys' goal. But at the same time, I wanted to challenge myself. I like this. I like challenges. I like to go through hard stuff, I think. And I wanted to get this out of the way because I gave up on my second show. I felt like I owe this to me, to actually get out of the way and do this. So I'm going to do it. It's in September. It's going to be here. It's going to be in Kitchener, actually, not in Toronto, in Kitchener. And yeah, it starts today. I made sure to hire a coach that does macros because I wanted to share my journey with you guys, going from higher calories to low calories and then sticking to a calorie deficit. And then I want you guys to be part of this journey with me. And I'm going to share all my tips and tricks, all the things that I'm going to be doing to stick to my prep, and that might give you guys some ideas on how to stick to your plan as well. So yeah, I made sure to hire a coach that does macros. Not a lot of them do. Majority of them would do a fixed meal plan with very rigid and strict rules. I don't believe in those things because I know better. So I made sure to hire someone that would be aligned with my approach, with what is science-based, actually. So yeah, it's exciting. I wanted to share this with you guys. I haven't shared this with pretty much anyone yet. So you guys are the first ones to know, and I want to invite you into my journey. And yeah, it's exciting and scary at the same time. And lastly, I just wanted to thank you guys for being here tonight. You're all so quiet. Just say something, because I'm not sure if I'm talking to myself or
No, you are not. Everyone is here. I think actually everyone don't wanna interrupt you, but actually,
okay,
first of all, actually, congratulations. It's, for sure, this courage came from somewhere, and actually, this is good. And that's it. I think when you share courage and actually even our hard times actually make us actually normal as well. So this is really good. So yeah, for sure now I'm not a Instagram person, but if you're going to start posting it, I promise you that I'm going to open the app at least once per week.
Once per week.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot.
I think it's amazing, and I think you should do it this time, because I do think it's gonna always be in the back of your mind if you
Yes.
don't do it.
Exactly.
And you're gonna be amazing because you have the determination to.
Let's see. It's easy to talk about determination when you're comfortable, and I was so comfortable up until this point.
But you choose that it's comfortable.
Yes. Any changes is uncomfortable, and yeah. Thank you so much for your support. But yeah, I think one lesson here is for sure, when you want to do something, just do something. Just get it out of the way, because it's going to be in the back of your mind and you might regret not doing it. And it's awful when you regret not doing it, because you don't know what the outcome would have been, right? But when you just go for it and do it, even if you regret later, you regret about something that you actually did and went for it, and it's a different feeling for sure. Guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thanks for your support. Thanks for being so awesome, actually. And if you guys have any other questions, just post in the Facebook group, post in the chat group, book a call with me. I'm always here for you. And yeah, you don't have any other questions, just thank you so much for being here. And I hope to see you guys next time.
See you guhave a good night.
Bye.
At least for me, good night. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon.
Goodbye.
Have a good
Bye.
day.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Congrats for your decision. I'm really happy for you.
Thank
It will
you.
be for us to follow up your journey, I guess, at least for me. It will, yeah, I think it will be great.
Thank you.
Good luck here for you if you need us.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye all. Have a
Bye.
good evening.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.